All right, here we go. Big LIS field hockey action here at Aycock Stadium. Both teams, St. Catherine's, our visitors, and the host Trinity Episcopal Titans, getting excited, getting fired up. Both coaches getting their teams in that mental zone to get ready to play what figures to be a great game. Couple longtime rivals who both won a lot of championships in the 21st century. And so it figures to be a really good contest today here on the turf at Aycock Stadium. St. Catherine's comes in at 1-1 on the season. They took a loss in their last outing at Cape Henry Collegiate down in Virginia Beach. A very strong team. And they also have a victory over Western Albemarle. And the Titans coming into this game off of an overtime defeat at Norfolk Academy, 4-3. Really was an unbelievable contest down there. And the first defeat that Trinity Field Hockey has suffered in, I heard 55 games, but really it was an incredible contest. And talk a bit more about that when we have a chance. But this game's gotten started. I'm Rick Hamlin, joined here by
And I'm Cooper Mitchelluk, your co-commentator.
Cooper. As we get going here in this first quarter on this perfect autumn day, what are some things you're looking for?
So yeah, it should be a great game here today between two really prestigious and historic programs, St. Catherine's and Trinity Episcopal School. I'm really looking to see how well St. Catherine's can handle the Trinity counterattack and how well they can just handle the press. And I really think that's going to be one of the key deciders for the game today.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in this first minute or so, neither team really able to gain much of a foothold, but the Titans now in attack with Laney Nichols. And that's a really nice cross from Ellie Johnson into the middle, but a good job by the Saints to clear it and put it out where the Titans will take over about 30 yards out with Darcy Kopsinis to plays it back in to Kendall Fleet, and Trinity's going to try and gain some possession.
Yeah, and I think that just kind of shows you one of the key things that is going to be crucial for this game today. How much Laney Nichols has an impact on the game. We saw it there, how dangerous her runs into the attacking third can be, and St. Catherine's is going to have their hands full with her and Olivia Schminke here today.
Yeah, no doubt. There's Schminke right on cue with a steal, and Schminke battling in the middle, hard to miss with her bright peach cleats, and she plays it ahead to Ava Benson, who drops it off for Laney Nichols, and a nice save made there by the St. Catherine's keeper. Believe that's Catherine Short in the cage, but two pretty good early opportunities for the Titans.
Yeah.
Ball really in this first, we played for about 2.5 minutes. It really has yet to cross midfield. So Trinity, like you just mentioned, put with that press, keeping the pressure on St. Catherine's and really just trying not to let them get any sort of a foothold in this game.
Yeah, and we're just going to have to see how well St. Catherine's can handle the counter. Being as good of a program as they are, I'm sure they're not used to this many games. And neither is Trinity, really, where it's going to be two, what I consider to be very even programs. So it's going to be a slog for both teams today.
Yeah, Sarah Murphy Payne defending out there, and St. Catherine's now has been able to matriculate up the field and into their offensive zone. And they're able to push some numbers forward. And the Titans have all their players behind the ball right now, organized in defense, but looking to spring that counterattack. And it does go out there to Trinity, and Mary Hazel Davis out there on the right is going to play it back to Sarah Jane Ryan and around the back to Kendall Fleet. And then that patience, she was able to find Ella Shiree. Saints do it, intercept, and they look to counter. And it's Caroline Potterfield bringing it forward. But Sarah Murphy Payne gets in the way, gets a nice steal, and plays a good pass out to Ellie Johnson. Just a little too hot to handle, and it goes out of bounds right in front of the Titan bench. You see both teams, everybody standing, really excited. And here comes Laney Nichols. She gets the steal. She's going 1v1 with the keeper. Tries to go around her, and goalkeeper did a nice job there of forcing her away from the line she wanted to take and knocking it out of bounds, so it'll come back out up top. But you just saw there, Coop, you saw, Laney steal the ball about 40 yards from goal from her opponent and then just turn on the wheels, and I mean, she was off. So that speed that you talked about a couple minutes ago really coming to fruition there.
Yeah, and Trinity has a couple players like that. We're only about 5 minutes in the game, so we haven't seen the full arsenal of Trinity yet, but I'm sure by the end of the day, St. Catherine's will know their names and numbers.
Yeah, indeed. But you also got to give a lot of credit there to the keeper, Catherine Short, who really came out fearlessly, took away Laney Nichols' angle. But here comes Schminke ahead to Nichols right inside the area, and the defender there, Becca Galbraith, stepped in the way and gives away possession back to the Titans back out top. Darcy Copsinis plays it back to Kendall Fleet. Kendall plays it hard into the area that I believe it's going to be a corner. I think it went off the foot of the Saints player. And you'll recall our last trip here to ACOG Stadium for field hockey. I believe the first corner of the game led to a Titan goal.
Yeah, I believe it was Olivia Schminke who scored that one. She's always a threat this close to the goal. So we'll see what happens, what play Trinity goes for here.
Absolutely. So I think it's going to be Ella Shiree to take the corner. Titans discussed which of their numerous penalty corner plays they want to put into place. And it goes out to Mary Hazel Davis, over to Laney Nichols, who keeps on her stick, and ultimately I think that ball might have hit her foot, and thus it's going to come back out. And I noticed there a bunch of the players just threw off their face mask.
Yeah.
Of course, in the age of COVID, when we hear mask, a different type of mask leaps to mind. But I guess, to be honest, I hadn't really noticed. But I guess St. Catherine's, most of their players started the game wearing those eye masks. But I'm not sure what led them to decide 5 minutes in that they didn't need to wear them. I don't know if the officials just said, "You're good, play ball." But they all kind of threw them off behind the goal. So that was an interesting image. All right, here come the Saints looking to counter, but Kendall Fleet able to break up the momentum, at least temporarily. And Olivia Schminke has come back to defend and is able to draw a foul, so it's going to be Titan ball.
Looks like Kendall Fleet here with the...
Yeah, Fleet plays it out to Mary Hazel Davis, and so it was a little hot to handle there for Mary Hazel. So it will be St. Catherine's ball coming in from the sidelines.
We'll see how St. Catherine's can use these attacking opportunities. We know, especially with that, the Titans really like to stop the ball in the midfield before it gets down into their defense and just try to hold up the momentum. So we'll see how. And there it is again.
Yeah, great job by Darcy there with the interception and getting her head up. I really like how Darcy does not get rushed. She's super poised on the ball, plays it out to the sub, Carson Beatty, who just checked into the game for Ellie Johnson. Carson, the lone 9th grader on this varsity field hockey team, and she has been a goal-scoring machine, super sub in this early phase of the season. I don't have the exact stats, but I believe that Carson Beatty has scored in either every game or at least all but one. So really, she's been a revelation coming in as a new 9th grader, and having somebody with that talent and speed and athleticism to come in off the bench is a real asset and a great secret weapon, or maybe at this point not so secret weapon for the Titans.
Yeah, I think that just says a lot about the Titan program, where they're it's just such a good program, especially getting new freshmen and having freshmen ready to go on a varsity team as good as this one.
Absolutely. And
Says
she may get a chance right here, Coop. The freshman we were just talking about does it. She had a nice job on that counterattack and was set up well by Laney Nichols, and ultimately is able to draw a corner opportunity as the defender came in and illegally got in the way. So first corner, frankly, Saints really defended well. Yeah.
Here come back on the face mask. So I wonder if it's just like a corner thing. What?
Yeah, good call, Coop. Maybe they just wear the face mask when they defend corners. That makes
more sense.
I think you're right. All right. Shirey plays it in this time to Laney Nichols. It is inches away. It got through the keeper, but number 10 for St. Catherine's, that's Sydney Simpson, was able to clear it off the line. That was a really nice play by Simpson. She really read where it was going, got to the danger area, and saved a goal.
Yeah. That's always what you want from your defenders. Just the ability to make those goal line clearances.
Absolutely.
Obviously, that's going to save you some goals if your defender's doing that.
For sure. I mean, interestingly, Sydney Simpson also a good soccer player for St. Catherine's, and she plays up top as a forward in soccer. So interesting to see her playing defense here on the field hockey field. She was part of the St. Catherine's undefeated state championship soccer team last spring and scored in one of the 3 matchups against Trinity. Sydney Simpson scored the winning goal for St. Catherine's. But looks like, at least on the hockey field, she is the central defender. And it would be 1-0, but for her efforts defensively clearing that ball off the line. All right, so now it's come out around midfield, and there is Simpson, who we just talked about, playing the ball out wide to Gigi Johnson. And Ava Benson took it from her, but I think Ava maybe did that, was either standing out of bounds or maybe just blocked her off illegally. Nice pass there from Mary Hazel Davis to Laney Nichols.
Then Laney Nichols does get stopped, so maybe they have started to find an answer for her, which will be huge in this game.
Yeah, they definitely are as you would expect from a well-coached team, paying a lot of attention to Nichols, who's clearly one of Trinity's most talented, experienced players. The senior, she's committed to play at University of Richmond, where her sister is currently playing, Corey Nichols, Trinity legend on the field hockey field. And I think their mom maybe played back at U of R as well. I believe I'm right about that. So, yeah, the Nichols family, a long history in University of Richmond field hockey. And Laney's going to add to that. But, yeah, Laney, she's had a couple good opportunities today, but she is garnering a lot of attention, and justifiably so, from the Saints defense.
In our last game, we saw what she can do. She was just running rampant.
Yeah. Okay, here comes Carson Beatty intercepting and playing it in for Laney Nichols. I was thinking she might, right on cue as we were talking about her, score one. But once again, the Saints do a nice job of pressuring her and not giving her a lot of time and space. Great job, though, by Beatty to read that pass along the back line, intercept, and create that chance. And there Beatty puts the pressure on again. But the Saints do a nice job handling it, connecting several passes out of the back. And this is a really nice counterattack by St. Catherine's, as they've now connected 5 passes in a row, leading to a shot and a save by Valentina Ambrosi Torres with a save. But that was really the best period of play so far that we've seen from St. Catherine's, as they connected ultimately 5 or 6 passes, breaking through the lines of the Trinity defense and getting off a quality shot, calling Valentina into action for the first time today, and she was up for the challenge for sure.
Yeah, and that's what St. Catherine's is going to have to do unless Trinity stops their high press. With this just intense, ferocious press that Trinity loves to play, you have to find a way, whether it's through the middle or more likely down the sideline, break up that Trinity midfield and defense and try to find holes.
Yeah, for sure. And they had several passes that split between 2 defenders and looked well drilled, and just in that transition game. So you can see the Saints' confidence building a little bit. I mean, the first probably 3 or 4 real chances of the game all went in the Titans' favor, but that was the first real opportunity for the Saints, and they continue to put the pressure on. And Ambrosi Torres makes another save, and Kendall Fleet is content to just play it out to safety out wide, and the Saints will take it from there as we're into the last minute of the first quarter, still scoreless. And let me tell you, Cooper, this quarter has flown by.
Yeah.
Feels like we've been playing for about 5 minutes, but we've actually been playing for about 14 and a half minutes.
And this tells you really the story of a lot of these teams that are really high action. So they could easily right now be 3-1, 3-2.
Yep.
Just based on chances, but it's still 0-0.
Yep.
It's anyone's game.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think Trinity's had 3 really good chances. St. Catherine's probably 2, or certainly 1 very good one. But no one's been able to break through yet as we are ticking off the last seconds of quarter number 1. And that is the end of the first quarter. So really exciting quarter.
St. Catherine's has to like where they're at right now. They really, outside of that one goal line clearance, they've really held the Titans' pressure well. Maybe they're onto something with those eye masks. I mean, their corners have been defended beautifully.
Yeah, they've done a nice job, and we know how dangerous the Titans are from corners. Yeah, I feel like if you were to sort of separate that first 15 minutes into 3 5-minute phases, I think the first 5 minutes the Titans were all over them, had the best 2 scoring opportunities. That middle 5 minutes was more even, but I still feel like Trinity had a bit better of the play, and that's when I think the Laney Nichols had the 1v1 with the keeper during that middle phase of the quarter. But you'd have to say the last 5 minutes of the quarter, St. Catherine's probably had a bit better of the play, particularly that one counterattack that over half of the girls in blue contributed to and touched the ball there.
Yep. And if you're just joining us now, it is the end of the first quarter, still 0-0. And thank you for watching with us.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the interesting things that was brought to my attention preparing for this game is St. Catherine's coach, Annie Zinkovich, is the club coach of a number of the Trinity players. And also, I believe there are several teammates in club field hockey between these 2 teams. So this, I believe, is Annie Zinkovich's 2nd year as the head coach at St. Catherine's. But last year, of course, was a very limited season with COVID restrictions, and there were a handful of games played, but this is really her first real season at the helm, and she's a coach I know that our players and coaching staff have a lot of respect for. So that's just going to make a little more interesting for the rivalry and spice it up a little bit when a lot of these players know their coach, and a lot of the players on both teams know each other. So that I think adds just a little bit to what you want from an in-town rivalry. That makes it pretty fun.
And, I mean, these 2 schools, and also Trinity and St. Chris, they have long history with each other. And there is every incentive for both of these teams to go out there and hopefully claim victory for their school out here today.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Trinity Episcopal and St. Catherine's separated by about 5 miles. And certainly a river. We're about a quarter mile south of the banks of the James River here on this beautiful day at Aycock Stadium. If you're somewhere at home watching this game, let me assure you it really doesn't get much nicer than what we're experiencing here. 72 degrees, not humid, a few beautiful clouds, but pretty much a sun-splashed day. And one thing we'll see as the game progresses is the shadows will creep across the field. Right now, most of the field still bathed in the autumn sunlight. And second half, it's going to be the Titans to get us going.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Coop.
Yeah, I was nervous yesterday with how much it was raining for those of you who live in Richmond. It was a downpour yesterday, but this field just drained so well to the fact that maybe 5-10 minutes after the rain stopped, it was already dry as could be.
And looks like an early opportunity for the Titans, although it is going to end up going out back out top. But, yeah, you're right. The field drained beautifully. I was on this field about 9 o'clock last night, and you would never know it rained, and it rained a ton. So if we were still on the grass, this game might be in doubt. That is a goal. That is Olivia Schminke carving up the defense. And the Titans draw first blood. Phenomenal goal by Olivia Schminke. Here we were talking about the weather, and Olivia Schminke was only interested in one thing, and that was putting the ball into the cage. And, boy, that really just someone passed it to her to get it going, but I would say that was essentially unassisted with Schminke just using that quickness that, she's able to go into from kind of first gear to fifth gear almost instantaneously. And I think that caught the Saints off guard. Schminke, honestly, was a little bit quiet first quarter, but maybe they, have been paying so much attention to Laney Nichols that they slept on Schminke a little bit there, and she makes the Saints pay, and the Titans take the lead.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier with the arsenal that Trinity really possesses. You start focusing on Laney Nichols, trying to quiet her out, get her out of the game, and then there's 2-3 weapons like Olivia Schminke coming right back at you. You just have to keep eyes on everyone on this field.
Absolutely.
If you're St. Catherine's right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can also see that the Titans came out to start the second quarter with extra motivation, kind of like they did the first quarter, and right off of the opening kickoff, if you will, they were able to come down, get the ball from Carson Beatty to Ava Benson to Ellie Johnson, which ultimately created the opportunity that eventually would come back out top and Olivia Schminke would score from. Now, speaking of opportunities, it's a corner for the Saints, and I now see the Trinity players masking up for this in terms of eye mask. Again, not masking up like we have to do in school, but I don't know. Maybe this is something that I wasn't aware of, but they're wearing masks to defend these corners. And, I mean, the ball can come blistering in, so it makes sense as a safety precaution. And that is great defending by Mary Hazel Davis. She gets tripped up, bringing it out, and now she's got to run back and throw that mask aside. So, yeah, Coop, you school me on that one. But, yeah, great job by Mary Hazel Davis there defending and then turning on her speed. And we talked about the speed of Schminke and of Nichols, but Mary Hazel Davis is as fast as anybody you're going to see out here. Carson Beatty, another very speedy player with the ball there. But the Saints are able to intercept, and they look to counter. And it comes to Alder Dickey, and that ball was played in, I believe, by Mary Kate Richards, and it did find the back of the cage, but it was from outside the circle, so you must be in that semicircle to score in field hockey. So Titans just let that go through, knowing that it wouldn't count. Richards looked to just kind of play it in there, I think, and hoped to have a teammate deflect it goalward, but no one touched it, and it comes back out.
Yeah, but this is the thing that I was talking about earlier. The Titans might have to adapt their high press here to fit St. Catherine's, who've just been – their counterattack's just been gnarly this game. I mean –
Yeah, and I wonder, Coop, for you, obviously not a field hockey player, but a sports fan and an athlete. With a one-goal lead here, do you think the Titans make any adjustments to the game plan, or, it's still early enough that you think, does it look to you just same plan, pressing high, trying to pressure the ball? What are you seeing out there?
As my soccer coach would always tell me, it's still 0-0, especially until you get that insurance goal at 2 or 3-0. You really want to be cautious changing what works, because if you game plan and then you change it immediately as soon as you get 1-0 up, you can go down 2-1 faster than you think is possible.
Right. Yeah, and I know, knowing Coach Snead, I mean, she's certainly not going to rest on a one-goal lead, and frankly, this is the kind of game that it may take 3 or 4 goals to win it. So I totally agree with you. When these teams met last year, as the Saints put some pressure on here, I believe it was a 3-2 final. Now, I put an asterisk by everything that happened last year. I think the rules were different. They were playing 7-on-7 to create a little more social distancing. They were playing, really it was like a scrimmage, but I think ultimately It was 3-2. So I feel like it's going to take 3 goals for whichever team's going to win. So yeah, I totally agree with you that nothing changes at 1-0 ahead, or if you're St. Catharines, I don't think anything really changes at 1-0 down.
No. If you're St. Catharines here, you have to like how you've been playing.
Yep, I agree.
Couple deflections, couple different shots, maybe shot placement, and you could easily be up 2-1 here.
Yeah, I agree. I think St. Catharines has played well. Of course, they would like to have that Schminke attack back, where they a little bit I thought got caught off guard to just how quick she really is. But they're definitely holding their own against this talented championship pedigree Titan team, and we're already 6 minutes into the second quarter, and Sydney Simpson, the center back for the Saints, plays it ahead, but Schminke's able to intercept right around midfield. Plays a leading ball to Laney Nichols that the keeper comes out and kicks, but now the cage is open. But Saints, Gigi Johnson did a nice job getting back to cover, and there's Mary Hazel Davis tracking it down. I mean, Mary Hazel's a player, you've seen her all the way back defending her own goal line and now all the way up in attack, and she will cover every inch of that right side from her position.
And Olivia Schminke right there. She missed it, but she was going for power on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. She saw the keeper was out and looked at it as a chance to play into that open cage, but a nice job by Johnson for the Saints. And there, Ava Benson looked to just flick that one on and lift it up. Looks like a clever play by Ava there, but the officials deemed it illegal. And here come the Saints with it into the shadows. And that's a nice ball played forward to, that's number 15 for St. Catharines, Emmeline Harder. And now it's Hadley Hargett playing it up. And a good job by Sarah Jane Ryan to shut down Addie Wanick's attempt.
And I feel like actually Titans might have to make some adjustments here, not because they're 1-0 up, but the Saints have been doing a lot of great work on this near sideline right here.
Yeah, here comes Emma Stevens playing it across, and that was a real chance there. Caroline Porterfield shot it just wide, but I thought Emma Stevens, the midfielder, junior midfielder for St. Catharines, played a lovely ball across that was very much in the danger zone. And Cooper, I think you're right. I mean, this one is still very, very much in the balance and kind of playing out similar to the first quarter in that the Titans came out second quarter, really grabbed a hold of the game, scored early, showed a ton of energy. But the Saints, as the quarter has progressed, have kind of grown into the game, and now they're on the ascendancy.
Yeah, and outside of those 2 runs from Olivia Schminke, the Titans actually haven't had a lot of clear-cut chances in this quarter. And I think that might have been the Saints' game plan going into this one, was just to let the Titans not even wear themselves out, but just kind of maybe even demoralize themselves a little bit with the.
Yeah, I think some of it is just when you know you're playing a team as confident and as strong as Trinity is. I think some of it is just weathering the storm, and that's what the Saints have done a pretty good job with at this point. And ball's turned over here. Going to be Titan ball deep in their own half.
Yeah, and it looks like Kendall Fleet here trying to just get it out.
Yeah, Fleet lifts it up. Saints able to control the 50-50 ball. And Emmeline Harder carried it forward. And Mary Hazel Davis got fouled there as she was, looks like Davis switching sides over to the left. Good interception there by Hadley Hargett, but taken back away by Laney Nichols. And Laney's able to get her head up and plays it forward where Ava Benson's going to track it down in the corner. And Ava plays a nice cross to Schminke. Well defended there by the Saints. Laney Nichols plays it in, looking for Benson, and ball popped up, and it's going to come out to St. Catherine's.
About 5 minutes left in this quarter here. Titans, it would be crucial for them to get another quick goal right before half.
Mary Hazel Davis plays it into the zone. Ava Benson continuing to pressure along with Carson Beatty. But the illegal check there brings it out for the Saints. Neely Weinfordner has checked into the game. As the Titans move some folks around, Darcy Copson is back in as well. And I'm trying to see who checked out for the Titans. I think it looks like Sarah Jane Ryan, I think, is getting her first break in the action, the senior.
And we're going to see how Neely Weinfordner can handle that St. Catherine's sideline, which has been probably, I'd say, their main point of attack so far this game.
Yeah, they've come down that right side a lot, and Neely has dropped back into that sweeper position. And the Saints bring it forward with Caroline Porterfield, who had one of their best scoring chances of the game. Saints connecting some passes. And it was Sarah Murphy Payne who got in, blocked it, and perfect ball out from Mary Hazel Davis to Carson Beatty as she looks to take on the defender 1v1. Keegan Southall defended it well, though, and Emma Stevens plays it up to Addie Wanek. And that ball is going to go back over to the Titans with just under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, I think I honestly see a goal here. Can't quite predict which team it's coming for because they've both had very good chances so far.
Yeah, very even second quarter. But the Titans, at the end of the day, all that matters is putting the ball in the cage, and the Titans are the only team that's done that, at least thus far. Saints look to switch the point of attack and play it out to the left. As you accurately pointed out, most of their more threatening attacks have come down the right. They looked to go down on the left there, and it quickly amounted to nothing as the ball trickled out and goes back to the Titans.
Yeah, I assume Coach she might have to say something to her team about that right side because that's the one part of their midfield and defense I've really seen exposed and all that much.
Yeah, and they look to go back to the right there, but that one also was a bit too strong. And you know, as Ava Benson fights for it with Sydney Simpson, and Carson Beatty is there to pick it up. Let's see how this plays out. I do want to come back to that point about the right side, but the Titans applying pressure. Ava Benson did a great job using her body to hold off the defender, and it's created this opportunity for Olivia Schminke, who hammers it just wide. That ball is probably still rolling down onto the softball field.
Ooh.
And, yeah, I think Benson is going to retrieve a ball. I guess it's going to be Titan ball out top. I thought that shot had gone wide off of Schminke, but it must have taken a deflection on the way out. So the Titans will retain it.
And on that run, she put about 2 or 3 girls in the spin cycle on that one. I mean,
yeah, when she goes into top speed, it's really amazing how fast she goes, but it's also amazing how quickly she can get to top speed. It really jumps out at you, Schminke's change of pace, which in this sport is such an important attribute to have. All right, we enter the last half minute or so here of the first half, and the Saints have been able to clear it out. When the quarter ends, I do want to come back to your point about the right side. I haven't forgotten about that. But let's get through this last 20 seconds or so. Schminke, ball over to Carson Beatty. She looked to lead it to Mary Hazel Davis, but it was well read and intercepted by Keegan Southall.
And about 10 seconds left. Titans might try to get something.
Yeah, I think Davis took that from the wrong spot, and that's just going to end the half. So Our halftime score: Trinity Episcopal 1, St. Catherine 0. Definitely not for lack of chances by either team. I think to your earlier point, Coop. I mean, this game could be 4-2 or 4-3 right now, but the keepers have made some good plays. So the defenders have saved some balls off the line. And just to wrap up on that point, I agree with you completely. St. Catherine's has predominantly attacked on the right side, but I don't know that it's necessarily a vulnerability in Trinity. As just that's where the Saints are more comfortable attacking. And you and I both know, as people with a soccer background, a lot of times at this level, finding someone to play out on the right is just a little bit more comfortable since most people are right-handed or right-footed. So I think the Saints are more gravitating there, not necessarily because the Titans are weaker, but just because that's where the Saints are stronger. But I agree with you. I think that's something that Coach Snead will address. Um, and frankly, if the Saints want to try and progress up the left side, I mean they've showed little to no ability to create much from that side of the field. It's really all come from the right, this near sideline closest to the benches. And some of it might even be as simple as when you're playing on that side of the field, you get a lot more instruction from your coaches because they're
Yeah.
right there. You can kind of hear it more. So it'll be interesting to see as the team switch sides at halftime if will the Saints continue to gravitate to the near side closest to the voice of their coach, or is it really the right that they're most comfortable with, and will they play it out to that opposite side, the parking lot side of the Aycock Stadium setup here? So great first half of play. We're going to take a quick break here on TESPN, but we will be back with you shortly for second half action. See you soon.
All right, and whether you are joining us from sunny South Carolina or up there in Pennsylvania, we have a beautiful day for a great game between the St. Catherine Saints and the Trinity Titans. Right now, the Titans are 1-0 up, but it could be either team's game in the second half. I'm Cooper Michalik, joined by
Rick Hamlin, and yeah, we're getting ready for what hopes to be a good second half, Coop. So we got spectators all over, huh?
yeah.
That's cool. So 1-0 as we get ready to start the second half. Across campus update that boys soccer at last check was tied 2-2 with St. Christopher's. I believe that was late in the first half. Was the last update we got on that one. So that sounds like a great game. And again, this is what it's all about. Perfect fall weather. Got a great battle here at Aycock Stadium with a 1-0 halftime score in favor of the Titans. Sounds like a great battle over on the upper field for soccer at 2-2 right now. And this is what you love, high school sports, man. This is it's what it's all about, and this is what TESPN hopes to bring to our fans and subscribers. And if you're watching this game but haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and join the over 750 fans that we have here at Trinity Athletics RVA. Also, shout out to my Class 8. I told y'all I would say smash the subscribe button, so that was for you guys. All right, second half's underway, and enough with the shenanigans. It's time to play ball, and it's been a really entertaining first half here, Coop. Lots of chances at both ends. Ultimately, Olivia Schminke, the only goal scorer so far. And it'll be interesting to see if the same pattern plays out that I felt played out in both the first and second quarter. I thought both quarters the Titans were really the stronger team the first 5 minutes or so. Came out more motivated, better speed of play, creating opportunities. And I thought both times the Saints did a nice job adjusting and bringing things more onto even footing as the quarter progressed. So we'll see if this third quarter plays out in the same pattern as what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and I think it really has been a story of two halves within each quarter, where the Titans really come out really energetic, really pressing, just getting up, and the St. Catherine's, and then St. Catherine's, with the exception of that absolutely brilliant solo goal by Olivia Schminke, has really been able to weather the storm.
They have, and they've created an early opportunity here, and a great job by Valentina to kick it out as Schminke slipped with the ball, which led to a great counterattacking opportunity for Caroline Porterfield. But a great job by Valentina Ambrosi Torres in the cage to just kick that out to safety. And I think Schminke is fine. She took a weird spill there and looked like almost did the splits on this Aycock Stadium turf. Her shoes look cool, but got to make sure they keep her on her feet.
Well, we will see. We were talking about it early in the first half about how St. Catherine's was really moving the ball down the right side, and I will be looking to see on which side they choose to really try to move it down this half, and Trinity as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Saints right now coming down the right, to your point, and Mary Hazel Davis so far has kind of been where a lot of the Saints' attacks have died on her stick. With her ability to read the game, her speed, her aggressiveness has been a big factor. But this is Saints ball, and Valentina again uses her feet to crush that ball out to the corner.
Yeah, and Coach Sneed, it appears, has moved Mary Hazel Davis out to the far side with probably the hopes of stopping that St. Catherine's counter.
Yeah, there's a nice job by Carson Beatty to break up the Saints attack, and now great pressure by Ava Benson. But she got her body a little too much in the way, so ball will come out to that right side again.
We'll see, but so far I feel like this quarter's been a lot heavier in the St. Catherine's possession.
Yeah, they're off to a good start this first 3 minutes. I do feel like sometimes from a coaching standpoint that being down one goal at half, you might have your team's attention just that little bit more than with a 1-goal lead. You really got to guard against feeling too secure and too safe with a lead, especially a lead as slim as this one is. So even you see from the benches a little more enthusiasm and juice coming off the Saints bench. And the St. Catherine's JV team arrived at halftime, which was like an army marching into Aycock Stadium here. It looked like they had about 50 players. And so they're now providing kind of a de facto student section for the Saints, which I think is also up in their energy levels as well. And you see that here as the Saints continue to be the aggressor in the attack with Emma Stevens. But Kendall Fleet does a really nice job there. Kendall's so poised and reads the game so well. Just seems to me, as to be fair, a relative field hockey novice, but from what I can tell, Kendall Fleet just has a really high hockey IQ.
Yeah.
And there's another great defender, another veteran for the Titans, Sarah Murphy-Payne. I think she's been kind of an unsung hero today. Sarah Murphy-Payne has done a nice job breaking up several Saints attacks. And really enjoy when Darcy Copson gets it on her stick. Just she has great stick skills, and also just like I mentioned, the first half never seems rushed. But the Saints were able to double team Darcy there, and now it's kind of in that pattern where neither team can really seem to connect much. It's kind of back and forth, a little scattered, but very much in the Saints' offensive attacking zone. And I feel like we talked about in the first phase of the game, the first quarter of the game, how it took about 5 minutes for the ball to ever cross midfield. Sort of the same here, but playing out the opposite way, where it really hasn't crossed midfield into the Titans' offensive half yet in this first 6 minutes here of the third quarter. And that's a goal by number 6, Emma Stevens. Can't say it wasn't coming. The Saints continue to apply the pressure, and they were rewarded with a great shot by Emma Stevens, and St. Catherine's is on the board, and we're tied up at 1 with 9:24 to go in the third quarter. Coop, what'd you see there in the immediate lead up to that goal?
Yeah, I just saw great ball movement, and the Titans not being able to do what they love and disrupting play, which I think they're not used to. They're used to letting their opponents even beat themselves by just making sloppy passes and missing it. But St. Catherine's has been very clean and making sure they don't make many mistakes.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how the Titans react here to that goal, because we talked about coming out in the second half. The Saints just came out with a little more energy, a little more aggressiveness, and it's going to be really interesting. How do the Titans respond? I know on Friday at Norfolk Academy, when they gave up a couple goals, they responded brilliantly. I watched that whole game with the Titans at Norfolk Academy on Friday and was unbelievably impressed with the resilience to come from 2 goals down against an excellent Bulldog team on the road. And so far, this is a group that doesn't necessarily face a ton of adversity historically, just with that impressive winning streak. And there's a real chance for this group to grow up and grow up quickly.
Yeah, and one thing that I have noticed this half and by this whole game really is that in our last game that we commentated, we saw Laney Nichols playing more of a central midfield role, but this game she's been up there at striker, and I've noticed outside of really that first quarter where she had 2 or 3 really, really good runs, she's been very quiet this game and hasn't gotten the ball a lot.
Yeah, she's lurking here now though, and she is right there in front. The Saints keeper did a nice job. Catherine Short, but it is going to be a penalty corner for the Titans. So just as you were talking about, I do think that they've done a nice job of trying to contain Laney Nichols, certainly one of the most threatening players on the Trinity team. But we found her there right in front, and we're able to create the first corner, I believe, since the first quarter for the Titans as the Saints apply the eye masks.
We'll see where this one goes.
Yeah, Ava Benson plays it back to Mary Hazel Davis, who's able to get it on the ground. And still loose in there, and Schminke
Oh.
it goes in. Ultimately, I think it was the deflection to, I believe Ava Benson is ultimately who put that in the back of the net. So we talked about how would the Titans handle a little adversity. Well, it took them all of 2.5 minutes to restore that lead. So really looked to me there, Coop, like that was just one of those goals of who just wants it more.
Yeah.
Ball was floating around, could have gone any number of ways. Schminke put it on cage, keeper saves, and sophomore Ava Benson was there to follow it in. Remember, Ava initially took the corner.
Yeah.
So she didn't rest out there in the corner to see what happened. She got herself involved and gives the Titans the go-ahead lead with just under 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. And as exciting as we felt like the first half was, Coop, I think you'd have to say the second half is off to an even more exciting start.
Oh, I completely agree. And I have been watching the Titans field hockey practice all through this week, and Coach Snead has put a huge emphasis on finishing and just getting the ball into the net. And I think it's paid off for them here today.
Well, the Saints looking to make it pay off for them at the other end as they create a great opportunity and another excellent save by Valentina Ambrosi-Torres. Coop, you talked earlier about the weather yesterday in Richmond with several inches of rain, and thankfully with this Aycock Stadium turf, not only are we able to play on a beautiful pitch today, but the girls were able to get a full practice in yesterday. I saw them out here in a pouring rain just preparing for this game. So yet another great advantage to this beautiful new turf on the field, and also a great credit to Coach Snead and her players just having that motivation and embracing the difficult weather conditions. And, in fact, a couple of the girls today told me how much fun practice was yesterday playing in the rain. So that was really cool to hear.
Yeah. And I can tell you, as a soccer player, one of the most
best.
fun experiences.
Oh, yeah. It's just like being a little kid again, playing in the puddles and just let that rain come down on you. And today, though, the complete opposite. Picture-perfect weather and a great day for a great LIS battle. And we're in a 2-1 game here.
And it feels the exact same. It really feels the exact same as it did when it was 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
St. Catherine's feels, and rightly as they should, that they could easily be winning this game, depending on how the chances went.
Yeah, so this is now a good check of their resilience. I mean, the first time they went behind, I think they actually played better from behind than even when it was 0-0. And now behind again, is Coach Z able to get them to back to level terms? And I think they've responded well so far, creating a great chance. But now the Titans in the ascendancy. And Mary Hazel Davis putting a lot of pressure on. And it's gotten so loud here at Aycock Stadium, I think the players are having a hard time hearing the whistle blow.
Or they might just be ignoring it. I can tell you, I've tried to pull that a few times in my playing career. It never works, but it's always worth a go.
There is Mary Hazel Davis again. I mean, she is everywhere right now. Put on quite a move there. She steals it, carries it into the attack, and looked to lay it off to, I believe that was to the goal scorer, Ava Benson, but the ball was just a little too strong and goes out for St. Catherine's possession.
And looks like we're going to have a sub here.
Yeah, this is perhaps the first time St. Catherine's has subbed all day. If they did sub in the first half, I don't recall it. They've really kind of, maybe just a little, but the Saints have, for the most part, stuck to their starting group. Titans have gone a little bit deeper into the bench in that first half. We'll see if that has any factor as we come down the stretch. Olivia Schminke carries that ball into the heart of the defense and is able to draw a foul. And Schminke was going to leave it, but now she's going to go ahead and play it in. And look at the moves as she's able to get right in front of the cage. Oh. And I believe she earned another corner.
I thought she was about to have two absolute beauties here today.
Yeah, she was about to unleash that backhanded shot when the Titans got in the way, the Saints got in the way and earned a corner for the Titans.
And they've already scored once. I believe Laney Nichols' necessary goal line clearance also came from a corner.
Absolutely, yeah. So one goal off a corner, another great scoring opportunity, and Ava Benson's going to take it again. And Benson plays it back to Laney Nichols. Pops up over to Schminke, and well saved, but the attack hasn't died yet. And now it does, as Becca Galbraith was able for the Saints to gain possession and ultimately gain a foul. And the Saints will discard those eye masks again.
Yeah, Laney Nichols on that one just barely couldn't field it cleanly, and I feel like that kind of really let St. Catherine's have some breathing room on that corner.
Yeah, it hopped up a little bit on her there. There was Darcy Copson is playing it to Olivia Schminke, who's one of the only players I think on this field that would be able to track that ball down. Schminke's speed is something to behold, and what a cross by Schminke! And it leads to another corner. Schminke crushed the cross in, and the Saints keeper basically put a foot over the ball to try and thwart the attack, but that's going to lead to another corner. And I can't say enough about how Trinity's responded to the St. Catherine's goal.
Yeah.
You know, the first 6 minutes of this half, St. Catherine's was the better team. They came out of halftime with the right mindset, but as soon as Trinity got scored on, they have ramped play up to a whole nother level that we haven't seen yet. Still only the 1-goal lead, though. I think Titan fans would feel a lot better with another goal. And Schminke there got the stick high, and then the Saints do a nice job defending. So credit to them. They gave up a corner goal. Since then, 2 more corners, and nothing has come from it. So I just am really impressed with both teams right now. As a fan of high school sports, this has everything you could possibly want in an athletic contest as we enter into the last minute of the third quarter.
Yeah, and I think that St. Catherine's here, I mean, that's got to be brutal, scoring a goal and then couldn't have been more than 2 minutes before Trinity got their lead back, but they have not, in any sense of the word, lost hope for this game, and nor should they.
Absolutely. Mary Hazel Davis with another interception there. And played it out to Ava Benson, who couldn't quite control it. The Titans have subbed. Ella Shirey just came on for Ellie Johnson. So that's, I believe, the first Trinity sub of the second half as we enter into the last 10 seconds of quarter number 3. Schminke trying to get one last opportunity before the third quarter whistle blows. And
Looks like, yeah, didn't hear the what.
Yeah, you know, I think
there.
like soccer, there is the official time is on the field, so there may have been a slight difference. And I think that actually the Trinity student section kind of fooled their own team because they were counting down the end of the quarter. But I think the officials had added a few seconds at the end. But when the guys counted down to 0, the players heard 0 and kind of stopped playing. But regardless, bottom line is, in this, what already in the first half was a gripping, exciting contest, the third quarter took it to even another level. The intensity and speed of play and, frankly, quality of play in the third quarter, I thought, was miles better than it was in the first half. And in the first half, it was pretty darn good. So we are in for an absolute treat here as we get ready to enter the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And I think it was almost a complete flip of what we saw in the first half. St. Catherine's really came out. You could tell how much they wanted that equalizer right there. And then once they got it, they almost seemed to play like you see a team play when they have a lead. And Trinity just pounced on it and got that goal off the corner. It was really a scrappy goal, with very similar to how Trinity likes to play, where they will just get in your face and press. But then St. Catherine's, after that, really, I mean, they've given up a few chances, but all those corners and penalty corners have been defended beautifully. I feel like even though they were corners, they weren't great chances for the Titans.
Yeah, I agree, and I do think you're exactly right that the third quarter was the reverse of the first 2 quarters, where quarters 1 and quarters 2, Titans were dominant early. Saints came into it. Quarter 3, the Saints were pretty dominant for the first 6 minutes up until their score. And then after St. Catherine scored, the ball barely crossed midfield because the Titans were so dominant in terms of their possession, their territory on the field, their intensity levels. But the Saints defended stoutly to keep it at a 1-goal game and keep this outcome very, very much in the balance.
Yeah, and I think Olivia Schminke had that third quarter was just brilliant from her. I know she didn't get the goal that I'm sure she was really hoping for, but she won maybe 2 corners. I know she won at least one with the cross. And she made dozens. Well, she's made dozens of Saints miss today with her moves.
I know her ability to dribble past people it's just incredible. Like, and I think it's all about change of speed, like we've talked about, where she kind of lulls you to sleep a little bit and then accelerates, and it's remarkable how she just leaves defenders in the dust. So that's something we'll look for as she got a little loving check from Valentina Ambrosi Torres on Valentina's way back into the cage. I think she might have caught Schminke a little off guard, but she's a tough athlete. She'll take it, and I'm sure she has a smile on her face, as Olivia Schminke pretty much always does. Anytime you catch her around school, chances are she's smiling. Although it's a little tougher to tell these days with the mask, but you can see it in her eyes. Really happy, fun person to be around. Really enjoyed having her in the classroom for 2 years as well. And it's a blessing that she's still just a junior, so still has a ton of field hockey in front of her here at Aycock Stadium in a Titan uniform. All right, fourth quarter. It is winning time for one of these teams, and the Saints look to attack here early in the fourth, and they connect several passes. Kendall Fleet, I thought, did a nice job defending, but it looks like she may have obstructed. So St. Catherine's will get the ball just outside of the circle.
And you can see the St. Catherine's JV hockey here. Looks like a small army unit moving through our track.
It really does. I think there are high schools in Virginia that don't have that many girls in the whole school as they have on their JV field hockey team.
No, Benedictine's one of those schools.
Yeah, that's a good point, Coop. That is true. They definitely have less girls at Benedictine than the St. Catherine's JV team. That's a very, very, very good point. One thing I noticed at the quarter break that is such a huge asset for the Titans is Trinity field hockey legend Annie Sneed, class of 2016, now part of the coaching staff. Annie was a 4-year player at William & Mary, a state champion here at Trinity, certainly one of the top, maybe the greatest field hockey player we've had, or certainly in the conversation among the greatest. So, and also she's just an unbelievable coach, and she's coached a lot of these girls in youth hockey, even going back to when she was in high school herself. And obviously, as Coach Sneed's daughter, she knows exactly what Margie Sneed wants from these girls, and I saw her really getting people hyped up. And Annie, having seen her as an athlete here, is one of the greatest leaders. So that's just such a luxury to have her. As Schminke puts a shot just wide.
Yeah, and that tells you, that run right there tells you everything you need to know about Olivia Schminke. She made 2 people miss, ran into a person, drew a foul, and then just missed a goal.
Yeah, and she crushed that shot. I mean, if it had been maybe a 8 to 12 inches to the left, I think we might be looking at a 3-1 contest here. Quick score update from soccer at halftime. I've just gotten word that it's St. Christopher's 3, Trinity Episcopal 2. So that's shaping up to also be a great contest that we may have to go check it out when this one goes final, as that one is a little bit behind. But we're still got plenty of hockey left to play here with just under 12 minutes left. And here's that high press that you've talked about, Cooper, and it almost led to a turnover there. But Schminke whistled for something there. I'm not quite sure what she did wrong. Actually looked like a clean steal to me. But, again, I guess I'm a field hockey novice, so I'm still learning the rules. But I tell you what, I know a great player when I see one. And Olivia Schminke is that. So is Laney Nichols, as she puts the pressure on. And she's dropped a little bit deeper. You had noticed earlier how she was playing higher up the field, up top. But Laney has dropped back into the midfield now, where we saw her have that huge impact in the deep run game, playing that more deep lying role. And this may be, like you said, a way to get her a little more involved in the action. Also with a lead, I'm sure Coach Need is going to want to do everything possible, obviously, to preserve that lead.
Yeah, and I think we always talk about her ability to move the ball forward, but which another reason why she's such a great player, she is really good at pressing and avoiding fouls on tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that may be one of the reasons why Coach Snead decided to move her back.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of were calling for that even before it happened. So maybe you have a future in coaching field hockey, Cooper.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was concerned that it was about to look like a terrible commentary when she almost got a goal about 5 seconds after I said it.
That's true. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, Laney can kind of do it all. I mean, you put her up top, she's a constant threat as long as you get it up there. But then in the midfield, she's going to be able to control the tempo of the game more and, be a part of the defense as well as the attack. And we're going to need some defense here as the ball turns over to the Saints. Looked like number 2, Hadley Hargett, really tried to just crush that ball and went with a high backswing that ultimately was deemed illegal. But the Saints applying the pressure now, they're not wired to just go away. I mean, their bench is really trying to inspire them on, and then we're into the last 10 minutes, and this one is far from over. Great pressure there by Ella Shirey defending from the front, and the official has stopped things to give Shirey a green card, and that's a 2-minute penalty, and she looks completely confused.
The only thing I could think is that when the ref blew, she kept going, and then when the ref blew again, she kind of put up her hands in a little bit of a what was the reason. So I guess maybe the ref got her on a little bit of dissent there, but
I think you might have nailed it, Coop. I mean, that is unfortunate. I mean, at this stage of the game, less than 9 minutes to whatever was she's judged to have done, I thought was pretty innocuous. And Ella Shirey is definitely not a hothead, just a really kind, good-natured young lady. So don't love seeing that green card come out in a game this tight. It's not like, it's one thing if you show the official up, but that felt pretty innocuous to me. But at the same time, these officials, they're no nonsense. The 2 officials we see here today have both been officiating field hockey and lacrosse for many years, a lot of experience. So they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I ref soccer sometimes, and I can tell you nothing is more annoying than when a player thinks they know the rules better than you. So just a reminder, always show the refs respect.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. Titans so far seem to be coping pretty well with the man down situation. Saints not able to take advantage thus far. And there we see Laney Nichols in that midfield position defending, stealing, and playing it up the field to Ava Benson. As of right now, Ava Benson scored the go-ahead goal, what ultimately would be the game-winning goal if this result holds. And the whistle blows there. And
looks like obstruction is what I saw.
Yep. 2 minutes is up for Ella Shirey, and she comes back. No harm, no foul in that one. As really the play was pretty much just in the middle third of the field those whole 2 minutes. Neither side had much of an opportunity. But Shirey back in and presents a actually really good target in front of the cage there. And looks like a corner.
If they score right here, I mean, obviously not game over, but that would be huge. Would be an understatement for this one.
Completely agree. It would not be game over, but your chances of victory at 3-1 with 6 minutes left, you have to feel great about that. So can they score here? Well, the aforementioned Ella Shirey, who's just back in the game from the green card, is going to take the corner. Taking her time, surveying, plays it back to Laney Nichols. She looks to go back to Shirey, but it was sniffed out well, read, by Becca Galbraith of St. Catherine's, but Nichols again.
Oh.
Nichols with the backhanded shot. Well saved by Saints keeper Catherine Short.
Yeah. Looks like it's
And
going back out
yeah,
to the
Titan ball back out top as it was just out of bounds off of the keeper. And most of the field now in shade, which presents a really dramatic backdrop for the last 5.5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and here's another,
Yep, another
corner.
Another corner. And another nice thing about these corners, obviously they provide you with a great goal scoring opportunity, but it also allows a chance to run a little time off the clock and gets you closer to that final horn that everyone in white, green, and blue is hoping to hear.
Yeah, and I have noticed that.
Laney Nichols plays it in front, and I think that one bounced up and off of Carson Beatty's midsection, so I think it just was a little too high.
Yeah.
So that's coming back out for a Saints
Well, I was saying earlier,
possession.
The Titans have been taking their time surveying for options.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, nothing egregious, but at this point, I mean, every second is crucial and every goal is crucial. So you would be foolish to rush things, and they have not done that. All right, Schminke intercepts, shows off the skills, dribbles past several players as is her custom. Her shot goes wide, but Ava Benson keeps it alive. Benson looked to play it back in to Schminke. Benson with it on her stick again. Really been a impressive performance by Ava Benson, and there she looked to dispossess the Saints player, but she did reach across her body, so the officials called that one. Again, though, it looked like they had trouble hearing the whistle. This game started with, frankly, relatively few spectators, but it's built up as play has progressed. There's a really nice crowd here, and, of course, both schools' JV teams who will play after this are here to provide some atmosphere as well as a nice, trendy student section. Carson Beatty was dispossessed there, and ball going to turn back over to the Saints. We got 3:30 to go.
And I think the Saints are probably going to get one, maybe two, if they're lucky, chances like they've been getting. So it's gonna come down to the wire for this one.
No question. So yeah, the Titans looking to be in a 4-3-3 formation as that ball goes off of Laney Nichols' foot and goes back to the Saints. Sarah Murphy Payne is up, marking the threatening St. Catherine's player, number 8, Becca Galbraith. And Kendall Fleet and Mary Hazel Davis back out on the wings with, it looks like, Neely Weinfordner all the way in the back. And whistle goes. Delay of game on Darcy Kopsanis, and that was a yellow card.
Jeez. Yeah, once again, I'm not quite sure what I saw there, but
yeah, I mean, definitely don't know what we saw there, but Coach Need prepares. I thought she was preparing to make a sub, but
looks like she just want to get some water to Darcy.
Get some water to Darcy. Olivia Schminke brings it back in, twists and turns and looks for Ella Shirey.
Oh, no, that's her ankle.
And Schminke has gone down, holding her ankle. Play continues. I hope someone will recognize. And we have now, officials have seen Schminke going down. Looks like she's getting up on her own, but holding that ankle. Look at that lower part of her ankle. Just under 2 minutes to go here.
God, you just never want to see that. Especially this late in the game.
Yeah, for sure. Did you see?
It looks like when she made that last turn and she hit it, her ankle just. Her shoe actually has been. We've seen it a couple times this game, but the color's bright, but
yeah. Did it look like it rolled, or did a stick hit it?
Oh, I don't think a stick hit it.
Yeah.
Which is worse.
Right. Well, she's in the extremely capable hands of athletic trainer Mark Hall.
Yeah.
And
I just hope it's nothing major.
yeah, for sure. Olivia Schmincke has been as impressive as anyone on this field for either team today, and certainly one of the key players for the Titans all season. She's moving it around pretty well, testing it, able to put some weight on it, and she looks like she's pretty much able to put weight on it, so that's a good sign.
That's a good sign, yeah.
I did hear beneath us someone say, is that the same ankle, which would lead me to believe that that's an ankle that maybe she's had some issues with before.
Not good.
Which it could be. I mean, yeah, but the thing about that is maybe just if you hurt an ankle before, you feel a little bit, you go down, but maybe you're just having a little bit of residual. So
yeah,
Schmincke's tough. I don't know if we'll see her again today, but I'm optimistic that this is not something that's going to take her out long term. And here we go. 1:55 left as Kendall Fleet lifts it up. Beautiful pass up to Ellie Johnson, who I believe just checked in for Schmincke. And
for me, Schmincke's been my player of the game today.
Yeah, I would agree. Scored a great goal. She's created a ton. She's talking to Coach Sneed right now. I mean, it looks to me like she potentially could go back in. But we'll see. But in the meantime, I mean, we're into 1:20 left, and the Titans now, as Laney Nichols looks content to just try and keep possession, although she actually did lose possession there as it went just across the end line. Schmincke wants to check in.
Oh, yeah. And knowing her, obviously, like most athletes, she'll be wanting to get in, help her team finish out this victory.
Absolutely. And it comes out. St. Catherine's needs to get it up the field quickly.
Oh,
Mary Hazel Davis steps in. She also has been a player that has been one of the most impactful Titans today. Just so good defensively. Also has created a lot offensively, and there she's able to draw a possession for Trinity, and there's Olivia Schmincke back in
for Shirey.
Back in with 30 seconds to go, so that's really good news to see her back on the field. She sprinted back out there too, so doesn't seem too much worse for the wear. And that is going to be Titan ball.
It looked like Ava Benson just took that one in the gut.
Yeah. Carson Beatty scores.
Oh,
and that will do it. I think it is safe to say that is going to be.
Keeper got caught out right there.
Yeah, that is a game-clinching goal. We mentioned earlier that Carson Beatty has scored in just about every game this year, and she waited till the last 5 seconds or so, but she put it in to make it 3-1 and clinch the victory for the Titans. And that is the final whistle. We had a heck of a game today. Have to say, probably closer in a lot of ways than the final score would indicate, but ultimately, Trinity Episcopal gets the victory. Titans 3, Saints 1. A heck of a game, and Coop, as we look ahead to future games here for Titan Field Hockey, I know they have a big one coming up against nationally ranked Frank Cox High School from Virginia Beach this weekend. I believe Cox is I think the number 5 team in the nation, something just unbelievable. So big challenges to come, but what do you see for the Titans as things they can maybe work on, but also what got them this victory today?
So I think what really got them this victory today was being able to not have to rely on their star player like so many other teams would do, and Laney Nichols being able to really spread the ball out and get offense from many sources. And I think one thing that they're going to have to work on is that press. Mm-hmm. While it is so potent, it can get it. And today we saw it got exposed a few number of times that could have been led to goals. And I think, especially like you said, they're playing the number 5 team in the nation. I would be surprised if they're able to pull off that press, which requires a very, very high level of both fitness and game IQ against an opponent as good as the one they're playing.
Yeah, the thing about that Cox game, though, that I think is exciting for the Titans is there's really nothing to lose when you know,
Yeah.
you're playing a team that's nationally ranked, going down to Virginia Beach and playing, I believe, at the National Training Center. So to me, this is just going to be a game where, of course, you want to win, and that would be a historic win if you can get it. But worst case, you're still going to learn a ton from that game, be challenged, and so I think you're still there's a lot to be excited about going into that one. Um, Finally, just I think one other takeaway for me in this game was the impact of underclassmen.
Yes.
You talk about freshman Carson Beatty scoring really the game clinching goal. You talk about sophomore Ava Benson scoring what ended up being the go-ahead game winning goal. Um, Great job by Mary Hazel Davis, who was clearly one of the dominant defenders, and really anything near her she snuffed out defensively. Great minutes from players like Darcy Copsonis and Ellie Johnson and Ella Shirey. I mean, those are all sophomores and freshmen who played big minutes and had a huge impact, um, as well as junior Olivia Schminke and junior keeper Valentina Ambrosi Torres. So got a great group of seniors, and Kendall Fleet is a junior as well, right? So,
Yeah.
so a great job by the seniors, Sarah Murphy Payne, Sarah Jane Ryan, and of course Laney Nichols, but also just so much to build on with the freshmen, bunch of sophomores, and also a great group of juniors that this program, looks to be poised to just keep on ticking. And the other thing that's really cool about it is after having that long, years-long winning streak snapped on Friday at Norfolk Academy, to bounce back and get a win over a big rival in a league game just shows you the pride that this program and these players have, that they didn't feel sorry for themselves or lick their wounds, but instead just got right back out, had a good week of practice, and got a big victory today.
Yeah, and I think that says a lot. Like, sometimes having that long of a winning streak can almost be more pressure than you need because you're like, I have to uphold the legacy. But now they can play for themselves and really build a great season here.
Yeah, well, we look forward to having some more field hockey broadcasts to come. I think that the next time we're at field hockey is a couple weeks away, in October, I think against St. Gertrude. Our next TESPN broadcast is soccer next Wednesday against Benedictine, I believe. So for our fans here, check back in with us Wednesday as we see boys soccer in action. And if you haven't yet, smash that subscribe button. And thanks for joining us so much today. Thank you, Cooper, for being alongside. It was an awesome game. See you next time.
See ya.